first video of 2018, and holy shit, it's a video about things I like. Contrary to popular belief, I'm not this hate-filled person who likes absolutely nothing at all, but, the people are so going to assume that because, they watch one video I make and automatically assume I'm this negative person that likes absolutely nothing. But anyways, idiots will be idiots. I've had the Nintendo Switch for over 2 weeks now. I got it for Christmas, and I've been loving the fuck out of the Switch. Really, I love the system so much. I think it's the best system Nintendo has made since easily the GameCube. And I don't know, maybe I might end up liking the Switch more than the GameCube. I don't know, but I promised a few weeks back when I got the Switch that I'll make a video talking about stuff I like about the Switch, and here it is. This isn't in any kind of particular order or anything. It's just a video just listing and explaining things I like about the Switch. And if I miss anything, feel free to add on in the comments things you like about the Nintendo Switch, things I might have missed out on, because this video isn't going to really be every single thing that's good about the Switch. It's just, it's just a general list about things I like about the Switch. But anyways, let's get into the video. I really love how you can just easily dock the Switch and your game is automatically on the screen, and when you undock the Switch, the game is automatically on the Switch's screen. I fucking love that about the Switch, alright? It's a great console. I love how seamless it is, how easy it is to just switch between the TV and the system itself. It is just so simple and easy. You just plop in the Switch in the dock, and that's it. Your game is on the screen, and you just take the Switch out, and that's it. The game is on the Switch's screen. Again, I love that so much. There's no menu or anything. There's no buttons you need to press to get it on the Switch's screen or on the TV screen. It's just like that. Just in 1 second, not even, it's already on your TV screen or the Switch's screen. And I especially love this because I like taking the Switch around in my house, going anywhere I want in the house. If I want to sit in the recliner in the living room, I could just undock the Switch, put the Joy-Cons on each side of the Switch, and boom, there I go. I can go downstairs, sit in my recliner, and play my game. I can go anywhere in the house with the Switch, and I love that so much about the Switch. And again, I love how simple and quick this process is. Congratulations, Nintendo. You really, really nailed this aspect of the Switch. And you know what? Since I briefly talked about the portability of the Switch while I was explaining my last reason as to why I like the Nintendo Switch, let's go more in depth into that here. I love the portability of the Switch. I think it's a fucking genius idea. I've talked about this numerous times in previous videos, but you know what? It just bears repeating. I think the Switch is a very revolutionary console. I think the idea of the Switch is genius, being able to take a full home console game on the go. No more separate devices, no more home console and portable console. It's all in one, and I think Nintendo really, really nailed this concept here. Because like I mentioned in the last reason, you can just easily undock the Switch, or dock the Switch, and it's right away either on your Switch's screen or on your TV screen. Again, no process whatsoever, and you can just easily undock the Switch, and you can take the game wherever you go. And this is something I think that the Wii U should have had. The Wii U kind of did this, where you had the gamepad, you could take it a little far away from the console if you go to another room or some shit. This gamepad will say, "Oh, you need to move the gamepad closer to the console." You couldn't take that wherever you wanted. You couldn't go to another floor or anything. If you maybe you could if you were extremely lucky, but I couldn't do that. I couldn't go to the bathroom or anything and continue playing my Wii U game on the Wii U gamepad, because the gamepad would say, "Oh, you're too far away from the console," or something is blocking the console. But with the Switch, none of that happens. You can take it anywhere you go, and I especially love this because, like I said, I can take this anywhere in my house, or if I really, really wanted to, I could take this when I'm going out. I highly doubt I'm really going to take my Switch with me anywhere all that often, because I'm just really careful with it, and also I don't really feel like taking it anywhere. But anyone else can do this. Anyone else, a lot of other people will take advantage of this. They'll take the Switch wherever they go, and they can play their full-fledged home console game wherever they go. Maybe they're going on a long trip, or maybe they're going to someplace boring and they want to play their games. Now they can, but when previously with other home consoles they couldn't do that. But I especially love this because now I can take a piss or a shit and still be able to play my full-fledged home console game. Thank you, Nintendo. Thank you so much. Alright, this may not be about the console itself or its features or anything, but I still count this because it still relates to the console, so yeah, sue me. Anyway, I gotta give Nintendo props because they've been advertising the fuck out of the Nintendo Switch. Every time I turn on the TV, or damn near every time, I see a Nintendo Switch commercial or a commercial that mentions a Nintendo Switch. Especially during the holiday season. Like I think I've seen a few like retail commercials, like I don't know, Walmart or Target or some shit, and the Nintendo Switch is right there in those commercials. And Nintendo has also been making their own advertisements for the Nintendo Switch, and I fucking love it. I think that is so good to see because after the fucking Wii U, after the complete market failure the Wii U was, hardly any advertisements came out for it. And when there were advertisements, you see the stupid fucking families with their stupid fucking kids playing the Wii U, making it seem like a Fisher-Price toy rather than an actual serious home console that's supposed to compete with Sony and Microsoft. And I guess you could throw PC in there, I don't know. But, an actual serious home console, they didn't make it seem like that. They made it seem like a children's toy, but not this. You actually see teens and adults playing the Nintendo Switch. Okay, maybe, depending on the game, you do see kids playing the Nintendo Switch, but primarily Nintendo's been advertising this to an older audience, and holy shit, that is fucking great to see. Because again, especially after the Wii U and the Wii, it is so nice to see these advertisements on TV played all the time, and see the people in these advertisements. People going on business trips to take the Nintendo Switch with them, or adults who are just at home chilling playing the Nintendo Switch. Holy shit, it is so fucking nice. I may be getting too worked up over this, alright, but you know what? Like I said, especially after the Wii fucking U, how much the Nintendo has failed at trying to market the Wii U, and how much Nintendo failed at showing advertisements on TV for the Wii U. You know what? This actually does make me very happy, and it was also very, very nice to see the Nintendo Switch being advertised during the Super Bowl last year. The Super Bowl, the probably, arguably, it is the most watched event on TV all year in America. And the Nintendo Switch was advertised during the Super Bowl. A lot of people stupidly watch the Super Bowl just for the commercials, and they see the Nintendo Switch in there, and they're probably like, "Holy shit, this looks really cool. I'm gonna buy that." You've done good, Nintendo. You've really done good with this. A lot of third-party developers seem to be really on board with the Switch, including some third-party developers you'd probably never expect to see on a Nintendo console, or expect to make games on a Nintendo console, I mean. Like Rockstar, for example, they recently ported LA Noire onto the Switch, and I'm interested in getting that. I heard it's a good port. I heard some good things about that port, but that's especially huge because Rockstar, aside from some GTA DS game, has never made an actual game for a Nintendo console, an actual major game. And now it seems like they're starting to go on board with the Switch, and hopefully a lot more third-party devs go on board with the Switch, and it seems that a lot of them are, especially with how well the Switch is selling. I mean, come on, it's the fastest-selling console in US history. Holy shit. I mean, third-party developers, some third-party developers have to be really stupid to not jump on board with the Switch after hearing what the console's selling so well. So now with the console absolutely killing it, a lot of third-party devs will probably be interested in making games on on a Nintendo console. And of course, like I said, a lot of third-party developers who normally wouldn't make games on the Switch, wouldn't make games on a Nintendo console, are starting to make games on the Switch, and it is so fucking nice to see. And I know it's sad to praise Nintendo that their console's getting third-party support, because Nintendo is a major gaming company, and third-party games on their system should be standard, but unfortunately it isn't. The third-party titles the Wii mostly got was a bunch of shovelware children games, and the Wii U, it hardly got any third-party support at all. I mean, yeah, sure, some companies are like, yeah, we'll support the Wii U, we'll put our games on the Wii U, and then they fucking bailed on the Wii U after a year and put half-ass ports on it. But now it seems like the third-party developers are actually serious about putting their games on a Nintendo console, because it seems like they're actually trying with their games on the Switch. They're actually putting out good ports. Okay, some ports are garbage, yes, but for the most part, it seems like third-party developers actually see something in the Switch, and that is so fucking good. Because again, it's especially good after the disaster that was the Wii U. A little over 10 million units in 5 fucking years, and hardly any third-party support at all. It is so nice to see third-party developers actually trying and actually, putting their games on the Switch, because that is something this Nintendo has really, really needed. Another thing I really, really like about the Nintendo Switch is its design and how it doesn't feel cheap. Again, comparing it to the Wii U. The Wii U gamepad was very big, very bulky and clunky, and if you shook it, you heard the fucking buttons rattling, and, it also had that cheap, plasticky feel that a lot of people, myself included, don't really like at all. Again, like I said earlier in the video, it looked like a fucking Fisher-Price toy, the thing. Not to say that the gamepad was bad or anything, I did like it, but they could have designed the thing a hell of a lot better. And this is the Switch is pretty much what the Wii U gamepad should have been and what it should have looked like. All right, and the Switch, it's not bulky. It doesn't feel cheap. It actually feels really nice in the hand. It's nice and comfortable too. The Wii U gamepad was surprisingly not heavy, despite it looking like it was very heavy, but it wasn't. And the Switch too, but it's even smaller and it's more nice to take around. And again, it's not bulky. It's not big. It doesn't feel cheap. It feels very, very nice, and the design is very, very nice and very, very appealing and very modern. It doesn't have that cheap plasticky look like the Wii U had, and it actually looks like something. Again, that's something that's modern and something that people would wanna to hold in their hands, and that is actually visually appealing. I don't just like that the Nintendo Switch uses a multi-touch display. I love that it uses a multi-touch display. Ever since 2004, when the original DS launched, Nintendo has been using resistive displays on their consoles. You have to take out a stylus to use it. You could use your fingers, but it's not, the stylus is the more ideal way to use the touchscreen. I fucking hated that so much, right? I never really went in depth into this on video form, at least, but I always hated styluses ever since I got my first DS back in 2008. January 2008, holy shit, 10 years. But anyway, ever since I got my first DS, I hated using a stylus so much. I used to always lose styluses. They were easy to lose. I'm sure a lot of people know my pain on this too. I know that's entirely my fault, but still, who the fuck wants a stylus? To quote Steve Jobs, who wants a stylus? I mean, did anyone really want Nintendo to use a stylus? It was just an old way. It was just an old way to put touchscreens on your devices. Styluses were already on its way out. Like in 2007, when the original iPhone launched, when it used a multi-touch display where you could use your fingers, you don't need a stylus at all. It was already on its way out in 2007. And, some companies were stubborn. They still kept the multi-touch display, and then they died out. But other companies adapted, and they actually utilized a multi-touch display. And Nintendo refused to do that until last year, 2017, when the Switch launched. And the Wii U came out in 2012, and it still had a stylus. And I remember so clearly, back in my Miiverse days, I made a Miiverse post saying, Nintendo needs to do away with the stylus with their next console. If it has a touchscreen display, they need to make a multi-touch display for their next console. And I got a few people in the comment section to that post saying, oh, that just wouldn't be Nintendo if they did away with the stylus. The stylus is a staple for Nintendo, so is Nintendo now not Nintendo because they decided to do away with the stylus with the Switch? You know what, if it's not Nintendo, then fine. I think this is a better version of Nintendo because Nintendo is finally in the modern age and finally utilizing a multi-touch display in their console and finally just doing away with the stylus, just throwing it in the trash and finally just abandoning the stylus. I'm fine with Nintendo doing away with the stylus, and it still feels like Nintendo without the stylus. I don't get how that person thought that Nintendo just wouldn't be Nintendo if they didn't have a stylus in their that comes with their console. But whatever, they're most likely just some dumbass Nintendo fantard that would just defend anything Nintendo does because, they have to always white knight their favorite company. But, you know what, I've gone over this so many times on this channel, and I've ranted about them enough times. So, anyways, let's move on to the next reason. Speaking of the Nintendo Switch's display, I think the screen on the Nintendo Switch is pretty good. I know it's obviously not the best. It's a 720p screen, But, it's actually really good for a 720p screen. The colors are very vibrant. Everything looks crisp and clear on the Switch's screen. Compare that to the Wii U. Yes, I know I've compared the Switch to the Wii U so many times in this video, but you know what? The Switch is pretty much what the Wii U should have been, like I said a million times. So I think it's right to compare it to its predecessor. Compare it to the Wii U. The Wii U the screen wasn't all that great. It was a pretty low resolution. I forget the exact resolution of the screen, but it was pretty low. And everything looked kind of not so great on the Switch. I mean the Wii U gamepad screen. So once again, Nintendo finally enters the modern age with a screen that's actually worth a fuck. So that's all for this video. I know this doesn't really scratch the surface about what's good about the Switch, I know, but I didn't want this video to go on for too long, and who knows, maybe I'll make a follow-up to this in the sometime in the future. Don't hold your breath on that, but it's a possibility. But anyways, so my thoughts in a nutshell about the Switch. I think it's a fucking great console, if you didn't really get that from this video, but really, I do. I think it's a fucking great console, and I really do think Nintendo is finally back and actually taking the console game seriously again, because, for the past few consoles, they haven't really been doing it. They haven't been really taking it seriously. They had these really dumb gimmicks, the Wii with the motion control thing. Nintendo made it seem like it's this huge thing, and yes, the Wii's motion control was huge, but it wasn't as good as Nintendo made it seem to be. And the Wii U, they kind of sort of tried the gimmick the Switch had, where you can play your full-fledged console games on a smaller screen, and kind of sort of take it around your house. Don't take it too far, because then the gamepad will tell you that you're too far away from the console and you can't go any farther. But the Switch, I think it really does have a solid gimmick. I think this is great. Just because something is a gimmick doesn't mean it's bad, so please don't buy into that misconception. But I do think the gimmick the Nintendo Switch has is solid, and it's a very, very good gimmick. And again, I think the Switch is really just shows that Nintendo is back and taking the console game seriously again. And it's so fucking nice to see Nintendo's finally back. They have third-party support again. I'm sure some third-party devs are still kind of iffy about the Switch, but I'm sure if the Switch continues selling as good as it's selling right now, it's going to kill it, and it's going to get a whole bunch of third-party support in the future. And I really do think the Switch has a very, very bright future. And again, I am so happy to see this. I am very, very excited to see what the future holds for the Nintendo Switch. And I am very, very confident when I say that the Nintendo Switch has a very bright future ahead of it. And to me and I, along with many, many others, were so fucking wrong when we said that the Nintendo Switch is probably going to be a flop. No one's going to like it, and it's going to be a Wii U 2.0. I am so glad that I, along with all the other people who said that, were so fucking wrong. And I'm sure most other people who said that were very, very happy that they were wrong as well. But just like any other console, the Switch isn't without its faults. There are some things about the Switch that do anger me and piss me off, but I'm not going to get into that here. Sometime in the near future, I'm going to make a video listing things I don't like about the Switch. And, I don't know when I'll get around to that video, but, sometime in the near future. Right now, video making is very low on my list of priorities, so I'm not going to make it, right away or anything, but do look out for that video. Anyway, for now, that's all I have to say. Bye-bye.